So now we are going to discuss about another phylum, very important, and we know this is the largest phylum with the largest number of species. So you can easily tell me what is the phylum. That is the, yes, it is the Arthropoda. So you can easily see Arthropoda, clear, which means jointed legs, and so they have jointed legs. There is no question about it. But before that, we have to tell something else also, like they are the largest phylum in the animal kingdom, which include about numerous species, round about 9 lakh types of species, clear, and within this Arthropoda, the largest class is the insect. So you can see what a wide varied organisms do they have. Now commonly, like other, they are triploblastic, they are coelomate, they are bilaterally symmetrical. You can see here, you can cut through a single plane and you have the similar structure on both the sides. So they are bilaterally symmetrical. Now I think you have seen cockroach and all. So you can see the outer covering is very glossy. So that is given by the chitinous cuticle, which form their exoskeleton. So normally their exoskeleton is made up of chitin. So this chitinous cuticle gives them a glossy appearance. They have segmented body, and each segment bear a pair of jointed appendages. Clear? Jointed. So they have segmented body, and each segment bears a jointed appendages, which is covered by jointed exoskeleton. The body is divided, you can see here, head, this is the head one, this is the thorax, and this is the abdomen. So body divided into head, thorax and abdomen. And in some cases, the head and thorax are fused to form a common structure called cephalothorax. The insect in the thoracic segments have legs and wings, and the abdomen do not have any legs. So thoracic segment mainly have, you can see here, the legs, wings, which are mainly present in the thoracic segment, in insects especially. Now what are their respiratory organs? They have a wide range of respiratory organs, like they have gills when they are aquatic, they have book gills in aquatic arthropods like prawn, etc. They have gills, and they have book lungs, clear, and they have many of them, terrestrial one, they have a very wide range of tubular network throughout their body, that is called tracheal system. Clear? Many of them have a wide range of tubular network throughout their body called tracheal system, which opens in this abdomen, clear, with a opening called spiracles, clear, spiracles, and then there is the tubular structure. The spiracles open into these tubular structures, and finally the air moves into the spiracles, goes to this tubular structure, that is the tracheal system, and this extensive tubular network from which the oxygen diffuses inside the body and carbon dioxide is released into the tubes. Now digestive system, you can see it is complete, and the excretory organ varies. Like here it is the Malpighian tubules are the excretory organ, you can see here, but in certain cases there are green glands which act as excretory organ. Now if we go on for the sensory structure, they have the antenna, clear, antenna, they have statocyst for balancing. Now they have eyes, and eye, you can see this eye is they contains a compound eye. Compound eye means it is actually a accumulation of numerous small eyes which are called ommatidia, and as there is this accumulation, each eye is the accumulation of numerous small eyes which form the compound eye. They have a vision which is not very sharp, they have a mosaic vision, and they have, many of them have gustatory receptors on their feet. Now heart, if you see, the heart is on the dorsal surface. Clear? So just see, this portion, this region will be the dorsal and this will be the ventral. So heart is on the dorsal surface. What we have heart in the ventral. So they have heart in the dorsal. Clear? Dorsal surface. Clear? And these the muscles which are, there's alveolar muscles, and there are various chambers of heart, and they have open type of circulation. That means the blood is so you can see here the circulatory system is open type. Clear? So there is a sinus which is filled up with the fluid, that is blood, which is hemolymph, and this cavity is called hemocell. And you can see here, this is the pericardial sinus, this is the perineural sinus, and these are the visceral sinus. Clear? So here we find this heart, various chambers of heart, and which is located dorsally. So this is the head and mouth, and this is the ventral position where the nerve is there. And this, within this sinus, most of the, all the organs, that is visceral organs, are present here. Now they are fed with blood. They are actually bathed with the blood. They are actually bathed with the blood, and blood here does not contain any respiratory pigment. It is called hemolymph. It is colorless blood which contains the cells, colorless cells called hemocytes, and the visceral organs are bathed with the hemolymph. The blood flows through the hemocell in a regulated by a regulated elongated tube, and which lies mid-dorsal in the thorax and abdomen, and that forms the heart. Clear? And the blood flows in one-way direction after the exchange of materials in the hemocell. The blood flows into the heart. There is ostia, the pores in each, and that is guided by valves, so it regulates the blood flow only in one direction. So this type of open circulation, that means blood is directly poured in the cavity called hemocell. Clear? This is present in the arthropods. As we have discussed, that most of the arthropods contains the tracheal system. Clear? So you can see here in the abdomen there are the pores called spiracles through which air enters, and the whole body is formed there, and tubular network called trachea. Clear? Which there is in the whole body, and so direct by diffusion the gaseous exchange occurs. So blood need not to have this respiratory pigments to carry the oxygen to various areas. So if go on for the nervous system, we will find it is ventrally located, ventrally here. Clear? In this portion, and it consists of the central nervous system consists of preoral ganglia. So the numerous ganglia are there, and these ganglia are connected by the commissuous. Clear? You can see here, these are the commissuous connecting the ganglia, which forms a solid ventral nerve cord. It forms a solid ventral nerve cord. And so you can see that head consists a bit of the the bit of the nervous part, and it is actually throughout the body surface. It is spread throughout the body surface by various ganglia, and that is why if you cut the head, it can remain alive for a certain period of time. If we go on for the reproductive system, we'll see they are unisexual, clear, that means whether the male, that is monoecious, and the fertilization in land arthropods are always internal. Clear, in land arthropods the fertilization is always internal, and they are oviparous, that means they lay eggs. But sometimes, like in scorpion, the eggs are hatched within the body and give rise to young ones, give birth to young ones. Clear? And another important thing is there. They shade their the chitinous cuticle. Clear? This chitinous cuticle which they have, it is not a permanent one, and this shade at their regular interval, and this casting of the new chitinous integument is called ecdysis or molting, and this is secreted by the epidermis. So this exoskeleton, this chitinous covering, this is not a permanent one. They shed occasionally this, and then again they are formed, and this occasional shedding that's at a regular interval is called ecdysis or molting, and the underlying epidermis again secretes the chitinous covering. So unique features of these groups are, first of all, jointed appendages. Clear, you can see here jointed appendages with separate chitinous covering. Next, thick chitinous exoskeleton, which we have this thick chitinous exoskeleton, and compound eyes. You can see here this compound with lots of individual ommatidia forms the compound eyes. So this compound eyes, the presence of this hemocoel containing the blood hemolymph, then Malpighian tubules or green glands at the excretory or an osmoregulation, for excretion and osmoregulation, and that tracheal system, we have already learned this extensive network of tubules throughout the body, that tracheal system or the gills or the lungs for respiratory organs. These are the unique feature of this phylum. The development is indirect, that we all know, that it goes through various stages of metamorphosis. Now, about the economic importance, this group is highly important economically in comparison to many of its other groups. So, apis, that apis are the honeybees which are cultivated for honey. Bombyx, these are the silkworm for silk. Clear, lac is also produced by these insects. Clear, and called lacifers, they produces the lac. Now many are the gregarious pests, that means they damages the crops and domestic food grains and all. They are Locusta, Periplaneta is a pest, and damages the domestic foods and all. These are the Periplaneta. Now Anopheles, female Anopheles mosquito, Aedes mosquito, they are good, important vectors for various pathogens. We know that female Anopheles mosquito is the vector for Plasmodium vivax causing malaria, Culex for elephantiasis, then Aedes for dengue. So there are various the straight diseases carries this pathogen. This is causing pathogens a lot. And king crab limulus, it is a living fossil. That means for a long period, their other organism which were simultaneously growing with them, they have changed a lot, but they remain same. So they the living fossil limulus is also under this group, commonly called king crab. So this is about the arthropods.